Hello and welcome to another battle report. So for this one, I promised my good friend who have written the book of Children of Ymiron to actually introduce him to a battle rep, so you can actually see for yourself how they do in combat, how they do in play, and so on. So without that, we will start by going through his army. So first of all, he have a unit of Coral Hunter, and they have the banner that give them one more channel. And then we have an Octaspawn next to that, and that giant squig is of course the Kraken. On the hill back there he got a unit of Cultists, and they are pretty cool because like they are a Wizard Conclave unit with some spell. I think those have the regen and a panic check spell onto me. And then he have a big unit of Waybreaker, which is their core unit of the army. In there we got this general on that big shell, which make him inspiring present with 6 extra inches. And he got another unit of Cultist. Those have the missile 2d6 hits with d6 armor penetration. And then he got a unit of Netonic Knights, and they got the Hatred banner. And behind them a unit of Coral Hunter. They also have one extra channel banner, and finally another unit of Cultist, which have the missile and the regen spell. And as you can see, there are 2 markers in front of his army, and those are for objectives. There's 3 along the line. We're playing a special secondary objective, and only the ordinary frontline clash for deployment, as you can see. Well, and he is facing off the Makhar army list. So for my army list, from left I got a unit of Hounds, they have vanguarded up. Then a unit of 8 Horse Archer, also vanguarded up. On the hill I got a unit of Carcadons. Next to them I got my bunker of Steppe Warriors. In there I got my Wizard Master with Traumatology. I got an Ether icon on the unit and an Obsidian Rock, so a magic resistance of 3 onto that unit. Next to that I got a unit of Chariot. They got heavy armor and lances, so 3 up armor. In front of them I have vanguarded unit of Lancers. They got the Rending banner, and there are 14 of them, full command. And in there I got my general as well, and he is kitted with Parried Weapon and Hero's Heart. And he also got the items that give him Distracting Terror and give the unit Devastating Charge, Lightning Reflexes. And behind that big Death Starver unit I got my Mammoth, who is also the BSB, so an 18-inch reroll leadership is pretty nice. Next to that I got a unit of 3 Chariots, them as well with lance and heavy armor. A unit of vanguarding dogs. Next to that I got another unit of Lancer. This unit doesn't have barding and doesn't have lance, only light lance, just to get some extra scoring unit in there. I also have a other character, and the character is running around with the Heart Thrower weapon, so it's a throwing weapon, hit on 3+, like a bolt thrower, strength 6, penetrating 5 ranks with strength 3. And to round it out I have a unit of Hounds as well. Okay then, as for my spell, I took our hereditary spell, which is a piece of terrain piece, the round blue one that we place it out, which is dangerous 2 or dangerous 3, depending on if I boost the spell. And then I took Mighty Unbeliever, Hand of Heaven, and Cleansing Fire. As for the movement of my right flank, I pushes up my fast cav. My hope is to be able to shoot down the cultist unit as much as possible, otherwise I stay pretty much far away from him. The same actually goes for the other flank. I have him outrange, so I don't really need to push up so far, so I will just stay back for a turn and shoot him down, hopefully a bit. In my magic phase I managed to get off Smite the Unbeliever on his cultist, and also places my hereditary spell in front of his Neutonic Knights. I don't want them charging or anything stupid. And that's it for magic, because he dispelled Hand of Heaven onto his cultist. In the shooting phase, my horse archer managed to do 3 wounds only on a resilient 1 unit of cultist, hitting on 2+, wounding on 2+, but I couldn't roll, and then he have like 5 up regions, so that's too bad. And on this flank, I throw my spear at his Octaspawn and actually do 3 wounds to him. So he only got 1 wound remaining, which is very much appreciated. So for his first turn, the Octaspawn pushes up a bit. They didn't get very far, they got a D3 and 3d6 movement. And he stayed back with most of his other troops. And this is how he places the other units on the other flanks. He got a special rule, so his cultist is actually healed wound at the start of every turn, so he healed the D3 wound, so I think his cultist over there have only suffered 1 wound from the first turn. Since he got I think he got like 6 channels, so he like have a big magic phase. He managed to get off 2 missiles, 1 on my horse archer killing 2, and 1 on my big lance here killing 2 of them as well. But all is good, we pass his panic check and so on. So that's basically his first turn. Well, for my turn 2, now we're charging. My horse archer go into the cultist because those guys are only strength 2, resilience 2, defensive 2, and I got strength 4, offensive 4, so I'm probably gonna kill him without taking too many casualties. Then my big lance go into his cultist, and this is some kind of big mistake on placement from his side, because when my lance is overrunning, undoubtedly they will kill the cultists. They will hit the Neutonic Knights, and they are in the Neutonic Knights flank, so you will have to close the door to me, and I will get a nice juicy flank onto his Neutonic Knights. Otherwise I use 1 unit of Hounds to chef up his unit of Waybreakers, unit of Chariot charging his Kraken. That's a nasty one, because he might do a lot of wounds to me and I might fail to wound him, so that can go either way, I think. My Mammoth tried to charge the Octaspawn next to my Chariot, but he failed, so that's why I have to sacrifice the dog. And finally my other Lances unit with my character in there charges the final Octaspawn, and my hope there is to overrun into his Coral Hunter behind the Octaspawn. As for my magic, he stops Hand of Heaven onto his, I don't know what I'm throwing on, his cultist maybe, and I laid out my hereditary spell behind my dogs, so if he would charge with Waybreakers and kill them, he have like I think a 12-inch overrun into the Mammoth or something like that. If he tries that, he will take some dangerous terrain test at least. And I also got off Cleansing Fire onto my general, because that will be very much needed when I face off the Neutonic Knights. Well, over here on this flank, I charge and kill his Octaspawn. Unfortunately, his Coral Hunter failed his panic check. For this army, first of all, he have a tidal wave rule, so if you roll a 6 on d6, he doesn't have to take the leadership check. And then he failed a leadership, I think 9, because he was in range of the general. But anyway, he fled away, so I couldn't overrun into him, and I just pivoted like that. In the combat with the Kraken, it goes very well for me. I do a couple of wounds to him on the charge, and then he failed his leadership. He didn't do much to me, I think 2 wounds, as you can see. Problem is, next turn his Octaspawn have a rear charge on me, but I have so many strength 4 attacks, so hopefully I can do the last remaining wounds to him. The Kraken also have a special rule that I lose a d3 of my pursuit or overrun. No, I think only if I chase him I lose a d3 on my pursuit roll. But anyway, he rolled like a 6 and I rolled like a 10, so I catch him and kill the Kraken. And this is what I was talking about, because like I can pivot more because of the Waybreakers. I will hit the Tonic Knights into the flank, and that's a combat I think I will win pretty easy. And over here his cultists are unstable, so I just did win combat, kill a couple of them, then the rest of them died, and after that the Core Hunter, who were out of range of his general, failed a panic check and they starting to run away. And now I basically have taken out his magic. He only got like 1 unit of cultists remaining. They got the regen buff save and the panic check, so I am not to worry about his magic phase anymore. So in the start of his turn, this Coral Hunter unit started or continued running towards the table edge. The same goes for this unit of Coral Hunter. They also continue running because I think they only lead discipline 5, so they will continue running. And my chariot will get charged soon by the Octaspawn unit behind it. And well, he did send his last unit of cultists into the flank of my lancers, which hindsight was a bad move because I had my general on that flank. So my general uses the breath weapon onto the cultist, and then he beat the crap out of the rest of them. But I didn't do much to the knights because they are distracting. I think he got a regen save onto that unit as well. So we have a regen save, distracting. He have a 3-up armor in base, so I think I only did like 1 wound or something like that. He did 2 wounds to me. He breaks and run, and I couldn't catch him, but it's my turn next, so I will just charge that unit down. So for my turn, my Lancers charges down his units of Tonic Knights, and then after catching the unit they will pass the leadership and face the other direction. And my Horse Archer charges his Coral Hunter, who continue running, and they will run off the board, so I get full point for that. Unfortunately a blurry picture, but after his Octaspawn go in I did manage to kill him because we were going simultaneously. He did like 6 wounds to me, so it was harsh of him. But then I charged down his fleeing Coral Hunter, I killed them, and then I turn around because I passes a discipline test. So his remaining unit is a unit of Waybreakers with his general. His general isn't too good in combat. He have like a magic weapon that lowering my discipline if he does a wound, and a great weapon, and that's basically it. You have the Sailfish Sword, which is pretty cool, gives him +1 strength, +1 armor piercing, but he only got 5-up armor, so I am not too scared to go into that unit. But I just use this turn to shoot some arrow and position my units to charge him the next turn. As you can see, I also got in the Chimera. I forgot to tell you, but the Makhar have the special ability with their ambushing Chimera that it can pop up from a impossible terrain, which I did, so it popped up over there. And well, this is just another picture of me surrounding him I had taken off a couple of way breakers, and he will use his final turn just to take the big lance unit into the front as well as the Karkadon, but he will take another couple of units into his flank. And well, I use my final turn, game 4 of the game, to just smash everything into him. The Karkadon, the big lance unit got in, the small lance unit, the Chimera, the Mammoth and the Chariot slams into each unit, and we actually don't really fight this combat because like it's pretty obvious it will be a big slaughter of his Wavebreaker unit. So in the end it's a big win for the Makhar list. I will say to his defense, I think the Children of Ymiron is a very slow army, so against the probably one of the fastest army in the game, the most mobile army, he will have a big trouble. So I uses my speed and ability to charge away his units to my advantage, and yeah, it ended up being a big win for the Mongols. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and the battle report, and hope you got your interest up in the Children of Ymiron army, hopefully. Anyway, feel free to comment down below what you thought, and have a nice one.